My 10-day adventure, episode 4, the Isle of Staffa. Well, it's 9:45 in the morning. I slept extremely well here at Calgary Bay. But one poor chap in a camp tent just down the way here, he stepped in a hole last night and broke his ankle, and at about 10 o'clock the ambulance turned up to take him away. Another chap in another tent had called an ambulance. That was bad luck for him. I'm glad it wasn't me. Anyway, I'm going to get on the road now to Fionnphort, I think that's how you say it, where I'm going to get the boat tomorrow morning to go and see Staffa. It's a 2-hour 40-minute drive from here, not because of the distance but because of the windy roads. And that will give you an idea of what I was talking about. Well, I could have made this into about a 2.5-hour long video with all the beautiful scenery and the fascinating roads that went along, but I don't think you'd want to watch that, so you'll just get a few clips. We've got to go down a hill here, and the sign said it's 14%. Oh, not that bit. It looks like it's coming up in a minute. I hope the brakes hold. Of course they will. Of course they will. Oh, that was all right. This is an absolutely lovely drive. Beautiful, beautiful scenery, and a real joy to drive on. Twisting roads, lovely. And the only way that I can think of that you could make it more exciting would be to ride in the front seats on the top deck of a double-decker bus. And that would make it really exciting. No, it's a lovely road, lovely drive. In many ways, it's better than the North Coast 500 because you have the scenery, you have the narrow roads, but you don't have the traffic. Fantastic. In the previous episode I was held up by sheep. This time it's roadworks. Well, there was a sign back there that saying expect long delays. It doesn't look like it's not going to be too long here by the look of it. It was a bit of a squeeze for poor old Gwendolyn, but she did it. She did it. Thank you. This looks like a bit of a squeeze too, but she went over, and we'll let this car go by. Don't want to hold him up too much. And there are several alternative wild camping spots along here, some very nice ones too. I shall remember them for the next time I come. And I'm pretty sure I will be coming because I like these sort of roads as well. Great fun. This is where the double-decker bus ride would be exciting. I've stopped here because I saw this viewpoint with a picnic table, so I'm going to go up and see what the view is because I think it must be quite magnificent. It's not a picnic table, just benches, and it looks like a memorial. And here are special friends, Susan Cameron A special friend has left me. I want you all to know that she made my life really happy when I needed it to be so. Her husband was her soulmate. Together they were grand, flying through the country over and across the land. Rallying was her passion. She died during the thrill, and now the race is over. She lives with us with us still. I miss my special friend dearly. Life is not the same. In my heart I know she's with me. Her memory will always remain. How lovely, how lovely. Susan Cameron was a co-driver with her husband in a rally, and the car left the road and hit a tree. She died, he survived. It happened in 2003. We're now another T-junction, and we're off. Not too far to go now. Another of those rather narrow bridges. The buses get over here, so I should be able to. I needed to get some bits and pieces, and I've been looking for a shop, and I finally arrived in this place, and it had, or has, a spa. And I went in there, and now, parked just there, I have all the things that I need. So in my Norfolk Broad shopping bag, I have 2 packets of big hula hoops, some bread rolls, which I actually wanted a small loaf of brown, but they didn't have any small loaves, some Orkney cheese, a bottle of Scottish strawberry preserve, a bottle of milk, and some baby beetroot. That's it, all stacked away, and we're underway again. And we've got 5.8 miles to go to get to the ferry terminal from Mull to Iona. I think it's pronounced Fionnphort. Fionnphort, yes, something like that. Anyway, not far to go now. And here we are. It's a long time since I was here. 1998. I came in here with my boat, Norcella, and we'd stopped off at Staffa, anchored off, went ashore in the dinghy, and then walked along the cliffside to Fingal's Cave. That's a well-known place, and this car park along the side of the road here looks absolutely full. I don't know what I'm going to do with Gwendolyn for the moment. It's a very popular place, and in a moment you'll see a load of coaches. And most of the people that come here actually go across to Iona and the cathedral, which is mentioned as a cathedral on sea charts, but as an abbey on other maps. And I later found out that the locals call it an abbey. But it's a very religious place, and all the kings of Scotland of the past have been buried there, including John Smith, who was leader of the Labour Party for some time. Very much respected, well-respected man in Scottish politics, and Westminster as well. Well, there's absolutely nowhere down this bit of road that I could stop at the moment, so I'm going to have to go back to the big free car park at the top of the village, but it's too far for me to walk tomorrow. I don't know quite what I'm going to do about that. But later in the day, the car park virtually emptied, and I managed to get a disabled spot. And that's where I spent the night, where that black car is, and the only thing that woke me up was a flock of sheep shaking a van. And looking across the sound to Iona, there's the Abbey, very, very popular tourist attraction and well worth a visit if you've ever been up there. And this is where the boat comes in tomorrow to come and collect us and take us off to Staffa. And here it comes. Wooden boat, I don't know quite how old it is, but a beautiful shape to it. And I didn't realise how many people it took. And then we were off through the little archipelago.
David Balfour, he was shipwrecked on the Torren Rocks at the island of Erin, about 3 miles behind us. Before the quarry closed, the stone was also shipped to the island of Iona, and we'll be arriving back in there just about 1 o'clock. Iona is 3 miles long by 1.5 miles wide. Our population is just over 150 in the winter months. That usually doubles throughout the summer.
There are a lot of small islands in this archipelago around here, and some rocks and shallows that you have to be very careful of. It's about 6 miles to Staffa from Iona. Across some open water there, and the captain was very good. He kept a running commentary.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are the common dolphins.
And he was very good. He slowed down and then did a big circle around the pod. It was beautiful to watch. But then it was on our way to Staffa. And there it is in the far distance there. Coming up close now.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is us looking on to the great face of Staffa. And beside the great face, you can see the different formations of the basalt. And the geologists tell us that these volcanic eruptions were about 59 million years ago. The smooth rock at the bottom is the volcanic ash, and the pillars cooled very slowly, and then they cracked into these hexagonal shapes. Staffa itself is a Norse word that means pillar island, or staff, like a stick, and with the basalt columns and the lines that run down through the island, then you can see why it's been called so. The smaller cave by the smooth rock is called the boat cave. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is us looking into Fingal's Cave. Fingal's Cave is 66 feet high at its entrance and extends back into the island by 240 feet. So that's about 20 metres high and 80 metres. Now the cave is named after the legendary Irish giant Fingal. And he first came to prominence in James Macpherson, who was the Gaelic scholar. His poems about Fingal and his son Ossian, and they were first published in 1762.
Sorry about the boat engine noise drowning out most of the music, but there's nothing I could do about that. Then it was off round to the landing point and instructions to those who are going ashore.
Will be moving in and out as you're stepping ashore, so just be careful. We would ask if you could step onto the side of the boat first. If you can step onto the side of the boat first and then step ashore. Just sometimes people try to reach across, and then if the boat moves away, it's not ideal. So it would like you to step onto the side of the boat first and then step ashore. Gordon will be there to give you a hand, so please listen to the instructions that you're given. And if we could have you all back on board for leaving at 5 minutes past 12. 5 past 12. That's plenty of time to go along to the cave and have a good explore up on the top of the island.
Well, I had read that there's no landing, but the works on the jetty or the landing stage had been delayed. So those who wanted to go ashore, they could. But my legs weren't up to walking around the cliff face, so I stayed aboard. Which actually worked out very nicely, because when they'd all gone ashore, I got a free ride all the way around the island. The other tourist boats that had gone out there, they just sort of hove to and waited. But I got my free ride with some commentary and a little chat with the skipper and the crew. It was very interesting. We went all the way around the island. Back past Fingal's Cave, and if any of you have ever watched or know of Jane MacDonald, a singer who does a lot of television cruise shows and things like that, she's actually been in that cave in a small boat and sang from the very back of it. Beautiful. And there are some of the semi-submerged rocks that you have to look out for. I remember that from my time there. And then the skipper saw something in the water. They went over to have a look, and it was a large plastic box, partially filled with water, which they attempted to drain out, but it just couldn't tip. It looked as if there was a double bottom to it. So there's nothing they could do. So other boats, keep a lookout. So let's carry on around the island then.
We just come in here because this is about the time that we start to see the grey seals having their pups.
Right.
We haven't been round here for a few.
The skipper loaned me his binoculars, and I just caught a glimpse of them. But they were pleased that they'd done the tour around the island as well, because they hadn't seen them for some time. Well, it was coming up to 12 o'clock, so we had to go back and pick up the people who'd gone ashore. And some of them were waiting for us. Some of them were just coming down the steps there. Of course, it wouldn't be a tourist group if there wasn't some stragglers. Anyway, the red-haired person is waving them on, and eventually everybody was aboard, although they didn't actually do a count, so I'm just hoping that everybody was on board. You know, the skipper went astern, leaving the landing stage, missing the nearby rocks. And then it was on the way back to Iona, drop off some of the people, and then across the water to Fionnphort where I got off. Well, that's the end of this episode, and in the next episode I take a flight over to the island of Colonsay on a little islander, 9-seater, or at least 10-seater if you can count the pilot as well, where you load your bags yourself. So thanks for watching this one, and I hope you come back and see my flight in episode 5. So for this time, bye for now, BFN.